more Togwaggles. That's 13 Togwaggles, Bills.
Oh,
that's a lot of Togwaggles.
So are we going to see a prep vanish here to get this waggle back?
I'm gonna see a bunch of. They're gonna make room for the Wondrous Wand, is what they're gonna do, and get a bunch of 0 mana Togwaggles.
Ooh, 3 golden 0 mana Togwaggles. So I'm interested to see.
They're gonna play this quickly though. Yeah. All right, they get another legendary Zarog's Crown, and look at this. They're going in hard on this.
This
Holy
puts it
smokes!
Oh my gosh, what is happening? Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
But there's a brawl sitting in the hand for Helsinki that's been sitting in there for ages.
Yeah. One of the classic warrior combos we've seen is Brawl and then Omega Devastator.
Yeah, this is I understand, like, FTW probably feels like they can be really greedy considering how many Togwaggles they just dumped in their deck.
Yeah, do they still have ways to generate lackeys? Because I want to say this is their last lackey.
Yeah, that's the only other thing, though. I don't know that might be a grievous oversight on the part of FTW. No more lackeys means Togwaggle's just a 5/5.
I think they actually have 1 evil miscreant in their deck.
1 out of 14 cards.
Yes, that is. And they're not going to be able to Baron. They're not going to be able to Barista Lynch in any of these Togwaggles back into the hand.
No, and that is not a lackey generator. Oh man, FTW. I think they my God, they just needed to hold 1 lackey generator to really make this go off, and so that the Wondrous Wand might draw into that one last lackey generator.
There it is.
They got the miscreant.
There it is. They got the miscreant.
So now that's 2 lackeys that they'll be able to put in hand and charge up multiple Togwaggles going forward. So they're in dire straits, but they're not dead yet.
Yeah, they only have 6 health, and I feel like it's time to go in on some Togwaggles.
They have to. They don't know it yet, but there's a Beryllium Nullifier in there with Magnetic that is lethal on the spot.
Oh, interesting. We're actually going to see the Ziliax. We're going to see the Ziliax clear. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, they need the healing, and they need to stop the bleeding here in order to start getting off these Togwaggles.
Man, they are playing games with my heart right now. I try not to quote the but they got to stop throwing down these Togwaggles while the rope is half burnt. It's really stressful.
So one thing about Miracle decks is you can't overthink a Miracle deck. You have to just play it and pray. Just slam down the cards and see what happens. I mean, it takes practice to make sure you get the right plays, but man, it's not easy. Then if you wait too long, the rope will kill you faster than your opponent will. Yeah. Super Collider doing so much work in this matchup, though.
That Super Collider has destroyed, I want to say, about 25 mana worth of, or no, more than that. Yeah, like 30 mana worth of Togwaggles.
So now, once again, FTW facing a near lethal threat on the board. Like, if there's like 1 War Gear that comes out of the delivery drone, they're dead.
And this can't be targeted. It is just a really vexing situation for rogues in general, right? Eviscerate can't hit it. Saps, I don't think they're playing Saps. So mostly Eviscerates can't hit it.
Yeah, and they did bounce back the Ziliax, so there's a bit of hope there that they can use that to heal up and protect face a little bit. But this is just, I mean, this is like wrestling a box of snakes, Bills. Like, eventually one of them is gonna bite you, and it's not gonna be pretty. But
yeah, they're wait a minute. No, Baron Geddon doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, you don't want Geddon. You'll just kill yourself off.
You'll just kill yourself. Yeah.
But another 2/6/6s coming out of Test Greymane, and this does not clear the board. Yeah,
no, this only clears room in the hand for Wondrous Wand.
Right.
There's a couple more 3 0 mana Togwaggle. If they survive and faceless.
Dynamatic's pretty good.
Yeah, is there any way they can win this turn? Can they get the 12 damage through somehow?
I don't.
2 Warpaths clears the taunt.
Yeah, yeah, they really needed help off of the delivery drone to give them another magnetic effect. But now they're actually gonna have to play defense here. They don't want to leave these two Tesses up. So now initiative has gone back to FTW. Now there's a glimmer of hope for them.
Yeah, and we're gonna see some.
Down. Here we go.
We're gonna see some start of game. We're gonna see some start of turn waggles instead. Oh, interesting. Actually getting a Venomizer that just is a way on board to deal with some of these irritating mechs that come out.
Yeah. So here's the question: do you lynch in now just to get the lackey, or do you play out one of your Togwaggles and then lynch in?
Or do you play out
stuff?
2 of your Togwaggles and then lynch in? Yeah.
Right.
Oh, actually, you would have to discard something because I guess each waggle replaces itself.
Right.
And then if you barista it also, you're going to overdraw. Okay, yeah. Exactly like you said, this is a much more probably reasonable play is to go ahead and get back your lackey.
There's still Togwaggles to go. They've played several, but let's see. Let me check my handy dandy tracker and see how many if it'll tell me how many they have. They are looking at currently, my god, the font has squished down so small that I can't even read these anymore.
I think they have 5 waggles next, and I think they have 5 waggles.
Oh, double Deathwing! Oh my goodness! And there's no brawl available for Helsinki. They can draw. They have to draw. They've got to find the brawl is
there. It is
brawl up the top.
Okay.
Thanks, Bills.
Oh my gosh, this is so good. Okay, let's just see who wins this brawl.
5-5's fine. Totally fine. But man, like, Helsinki has made all the correct sacrifices at all the correct shrines in Finland to be able to get pulled out of the fire again and again by these top decks.
And they're not out of the woods yet. We're going to see more waggles coming down. 1, maybe 2 more Togwaggles coming down.
So more legendary. See, they're pretty much sticking to Crown and Wand here, just to draw cards and then create more threats. And that's both brawls, Bills.
Yeah,
so
that's both brawls.
The Warpath is going to answer the board that currently exists. At some point, do they take the Kobold?
Gosh, I wonder. There's going to come a point where they're not going to need a whole bunch of Togwaggles because they're going to run. Eventually, FTW Esports is going to run out of lackeys, and they're going to need some other thing to do with all of these waggles that are in their hand. There it is. Right. You called it, and it is so.
Yeah, at some point, there's just no point in drawing cards anymore. They have to start, slowing down the card draw in the deck.
Also worth mentioning, you said that this is both brawls, and they're going to go ahead and Warpath away this board. It's going to take all 10 of their mana.
Yes.
Unless they decide to maybe work in can they squeeze in a hero power? I don't think so.
No, they can't. They got to use all 10 for this. So then again, so I think the point you're making is that initiative is being returned back to FTW to just do whatever they're going to do here with these remaining treasures.
So I'm just trying to look through. They've had 10 cards in hand for so long. Do they have any lackeys? I don't think so. Another Togwaggle,
right?
Just
doesn't do anything in this position, but 2 Mechathons. Okay, now Helsinki is in. Well, no. They've got an Omega Devastator and a Big Game Hunter to answer the 2 10-10s. Nothing doing for the Togwaggles, but trades plus Dynamatic can get him there in 2 turns. So, as threatening as this looks, I think Helsinki's still kind of in the driver's seat.
Yeah, Helsinki has just been able to they've run out of brawls. They've actually run out of super colliders. They're getting close to. I think this is their second of 2 Omega Devastators that's in their hand. Is that right?
I think so.
So they're starting. I'm starting to get nervous for Helsinki because once this Golden Kobold comes down, if it doesn't give them 10 Nat Pagels, Helsinki Reds is just running out. They're gonna have to start leaning on like their Archivist Elysiana to try to something else to do in this game.
But yeah,
But here it is.
this is a great sequence though for Helsinki though, being able to answer those minions once again, and with now that the lackeys have been expended, so those Togwaggles now return back to 5/5. So now that Kobold is just gonna make a whole bunch of legendary minions, and here we go.
Here, this has got to be it right here. Oh yeah, boy, the coin is actually just transformed into the Boom.
All right, Blastmaster Boom, Boom Reaver, Janalai, I think actually might be active.
Wait, did one of these Heist Baron Togwaggles get magically transformed into a Heist Baron Togwaggle?
Yes, it did actually. Oh, Shirvala! Shirvala's gonna heal him for a ton of damage.
Wow! All of a sudden,
they also have Alex. Alex Straza came in off of one of the effects. Lady in White, Interfire on all your remaining. Well, the one card they'll have next turn. But Helsinki's just out of ways to answer. The Shirvala came out for 0 mana.
This is it. You Archivist. This is why you put these in your deck, right?
Yeah, you have to be able to last into these scenarios, and like. Whirlwind doesn't help. Mortal Strike doesn't really help. Illidan doesn't really help.
No, I guess
no help from the second pick.
Oh, these are some gnarly picks. So heavy metal, completely. you can finally get something, but you're about to run out real fast.
Traveling Healer, heal you for 3. Cheaty Ankle Biter, heal you for 1. Like,
yeah, they picked up a. Oh my gosh, they're gonna go ahead and self.
Wow.
What a game!
Whoa.
You know, it's funny. At the top of that game, I was like, "Oh, why would you queue the rogue?" I understand now. I think I get it.
Yeah, you know, and we were kind of wondering what was the in-game strategy, and the strategy is to bury the warrior in value, apparently, and that's exactly what this mage that's coming up for Game 5 does, Bills. It's just make big stuff over and over and over again. And just completely stretch thin and deplete the warrior's ability to combat with removal. And I think that the FTW has a very good chance of taking out this warrior in this game.
Oh yeah, this is going to be. I mean, we've talked off and on throughout the entire night about how just the recurring threats are so difficult for warrior. You want to talk about a deck full of threats. Actually, let me just go ahead and take a look at Mountain Giant Messenger. So this is the mage that has Hexlord Malakras. A second Cairn Bloodhoof, a second Mountain Giant, and a second Messenger Raven are going to come down when Hexlord Malakras does.
Yeah, like that's going to be a great Malakras, honestly. And they'll have time, right? So like Malakras doesn't get to see play because he's so slow. But because he's so slow, he's perfect for a warrior matchup because, well, it's not generating as much pressure as you might like for 8 mana, but it's generating a ton of value. And a Cairn and a Giant off of Malakras, that's great value.
Yeah, and it adds those 3 cards to your hand, so it not only gives discard, it discounts it by 3. Just for, or I guess it discounts it by 2 since you have to play the Malakras out.
Yeah,
so,
right.
I mean, it plays into the synergies of this deck. It powers up your Twilight Drakes if you draw them late. It powers up your Astromancers if you draw them late. It really synergizes really well. And if you're in a situation where you have.
You know, I gotta say, off that Messenger Raven, Bills, given what the strategy has been for FTW, I'm really surprised that they didn't take the Time Tinker Toki. Right? Like, why not just, get more ridiculous minions?
Yeah, and potentially get something from... Because that's the one where it gives you a wild legendary in hand.
Yeah. So you can get like, Sylvanas or Ragnaros or, any number. And I guess, like random legendaries are kind of a trap, right? So I guess I can see that. But I mean, playing risky seems to be the way that FTW wants to play out this series.
I think that's one of those. I mean, you take Toki for the fans, right? I personally would love to have seen Toki come down. Just because, I mean, can you imagine Conjurers a
Oh man.
That's
Oh, that's so gross.
gross.
Like steal one of your guys, get 2 more 6-mana minions. Yeah, that's just not nice.
That would be amazing to see. We actually have kind of an awkward turn because so this warrior is going to have to shield slam a Twilight Drake, and since they know that this mage is not lacking for late game, I feel like they don't want to spend that shield slam, but I don't know if they have a choice.
Yeah, you may be right. Like the Super Collider will do quite a lot of work against Conjurer's Calling, but all the same, it usually involves tanking 8 damage, which is really not what you want to do. So this is a tough one for the warrior. Like you never want to expend your threat answers that early in the game, knowing how many more are coming.
Yeah, especially something that can be as useful, because Shield Slam is one of the few ways you can deal more than 10 damage. We see Omega Dev. There are two creatures in this deck just being run naturally that won't die to Omega Devastator. Right, I'm looking at Kalikos and Ysera right now. Right. 10 damage isn't enough.
Just a raw Cairn is again, it's a consistent threat that they can't clear right away.
Right. It's gonna take almost an entire militia commander to not even finish off one round. It'll finish off one round of Cairn, but this Bane is ready to go. And he's actually only a 4-cost card, it's worth mentioning. So there's still some value in eliminating the 6-body part of the Blood Hooves.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because this Conjurer's Calling is would only give you a couple of 4-cost cards instead.
Gotcha. So I suspect that FTW is holding that giant until they can just play it with like a big combo setup. So they might go for double Conjuring Call or Khadgar Conjurer's Call, just to generate as much threat as possible.
Just drop an Alistraza next turn. Go ahead and get the 15 damage battle cry basically off the Alistraza, and just say, "There's more 8/8s coming, but here's one." Would you? How would you like to deal with this?
Yeah, because I mean, it's like you said, it's still an 8/8. Like you still have to answer this. You can't leave this on the board. You just die.
So just a quick heads up. We'd like to apologize for some technical difficulties. There are hurricanes throughout. Not hurricanes. I don't want to oversell it, but I know that I was in a storm where visibility was so low that I was afraid to drive, and I was driving at the time.
Yeah, it's been a bit stormy over in the production center, so some of the connections have been a tad spotty throughout the day, but we're back. And Oo's going to answer that Super Collider. That's a key weapon break there for the warrior, and now they're actually kind of in a bind here, Helsinki, because they cannot answer this board cleanly with what they have in hand.
No, and they don't have the 10 mana necessary to activate this Omega. To these Omega assemblies. They're just gonna have to Warpath a bunch and then take 8 damage. It's
oof. And they're at 30. It's not like they're those astronomical armor totals that you usually see warrior have. So FTW just saw the signal that they don't. There's no way to answer a
my
huge
gosh.